3, and we're all right, guys, I hate to tell you, I did the numbers. I did them again. I did them a third time. I'm really tired of doing them, but I really want a different result. And I figure if I just keep trying it, I'd get something else. But I didn't. So look, millennials, Gen Z, turns out you guys got no real savings, okay? Most of y'all can't come with $500, which is nothing. I mean, like, that's barely burger buying money. Speaking of the fact that $500 is nothing, which is very unfortunate because I don't know about you, but most of us have to work pretty darn hard to get $500, but it apparently barely buys you a few burgers. And why is that? It's because of the cost of living, okay? Cost of living is going through the freaking roof. Speaking of roofs, we can't repair our roofs. The cost of repairing our roofs is through the roof. It's nuts. This is too much. The cost of living is way too high. Rent is way jacked up. I'm seeing thousands of dollars for barely broom closet level stuff. A few $1,000s 80 years ago would buy you a whole house your family could live in. A few $1,000s now buys you 30 days in a junkyard apartment that you can barely live in, and you hope bullet holes are not just going through there like Swiss cheese. It's terrible. It hurts. It hurts to see my fellow man like this. It hurts to see everyone like this. This is just killing our country. Now, let's calm down. Let's bring it down a notch. Why is the price of everything going through the roof? Why is everybody broke? Even the people with some money feel broke. I feel broke. I'm over here buying banks. I am over here buying multiple businesses. I am worth a few $100 million, and I feel broke. Why? It's because inflation. The value of our money is eroding away every single second. We've got a money printer. The U.S. government has a money printer at the Fed, okay? They actually have several of them. And that thing is in overdrive. It's going through the roof, okay? They're having to reinvent charts to show how much money they're printing. They went from a low single-digit dollar in trillions back in 2008 and stuff to over $22 trillion. Now, that's too big of a number. You don't know what that number is. You've never seen 22 trillion of anything except maybe sands on the beach. Okay? There's too much money. If you say there's too much money, though, why are we all broke? Why does nobody feel like they have any savings? Well, it's simple. We may have all this inflation, but y'all in debt. Okay? And normally, being in debt during inflation time periods, you'd be like, great, it's inflating my debt away. Problem is, it's not the good kind of debt. We're not talking about mortgages on really good property. We're not talking about a little bit of business debt here and there because you're growing your business fast and you're growing it 3, 4, 5 times faster than your cost of capital. Those are good debts. Those debts I encourage. But unfortunately, y'all are doing the exact opposite of that. Credit card debt is at record highs. You guys have invented a new term, doom spending. What the heck? All my banker buddies keep telling me, man, I'm worried about some of this doom spending credit card debt because I bet they're going to default. I'm worried these people are going to go long on rope. Like, they are never going to pay this off. What is going to happen? Are we all just going to disappear one day and it goes bust? It doesn't matter. It's the same thing as if we stick around and it goes bust. Because you know what? You can't pay off 20 to 30% credit card debt when you don't have any money left over at the end of the month. It's killing me. Come on, people. But even those of you that are being responsible, even those of you who are like, look, all right, tell me, man, what should I be doing? I think I know what I'm doing. I mean, I'm investing in my retirement as best I can. I'm trying to save up for a house. But what do? How do I make it better? Well, I would love to tell you, hey, you're doing the exact right thing. You know, invest as much as you reasonably can in as good of products as you can and buy a house. You buy a good house, fix it up, make it better. It'll grow over time in value. But you know what? I can't wholeheartedly endorse this, okay? It's some of the best stuff you can do, but I can't be excited for you about that. Now, why can't I be excited? Hey, look, you make investments. You do all these things. Why shouldn't I do it? Well, I'll tell you why. Those investments you have, you're overpaying for. If you look at the stock market, almost every company you think of that's worthwhile, yes, your Apple, your Amazon, all like 5 companies that matter in the stock market, they're all trading at all-time high valuations. Their PE ratios are through the roof. And honestly, they have to grow the size of a country every now and then to keep up their growth rate and be worth what you're paying for them. I don't know about you, but I don't expect Apple to grow the size of America the next 10 years. Like that's a nonsensical statement, and yet that's the kind of stuff we have to keep seeing for these big companies to be worth buying into. So all this money has already been channeled into investments, okay? The price of these things is through the roof. You wonder why in the old days you used to be able to get a good dividend-paying stock and sit back and watch the cash come in and it be perfectly fine. Let me tell you, 1% dividend, 2% dividend, 4% dividend, these are not enough. That's not enough to beat inflation. Don't even try and pretend that that's enough to live off retirement-wise. Fine, if you're a billionaire, fine, yeah. 1% is enough. It's a terrible investment, but it's enough. But for the average guy, even if you're the above average guy, even if you got $1 million, let me tell you, 1, 2, 3, 4% on that is not enough, especially when the tax man comes and man, does he come hard. No. Overpaying for your traditional overvalued stocks is just not enough anymore. And you say, okay, yeah, no, I'm not Mr. Stock Guy, okay? I'm not the stock guru. I don't expect to be. And Fidelity, Schwab, all these other guys are getting me 4% annual returns, and I'm losing to inflation anyway, and not to mention all the fees. You're right. Investments like that are not the way. But real estate's a good thing. I love real estate, okay? I absolutely love real estate, especially in America, okay? Some of the best real estate you can possibly find is found in America. Problem is, it's expensive. It's really expensive. You go and you look and you see these beach houses and stuff, and they're trading for $30, $40 million, and you're like, hey, let's go back and see what they were 10 years ago. 10 years ago, that $30, $40 million beach house, it was a $10 million beach house. Still a lot of money, but that's a lot less. You go back and you look at it 30 years ago, what was that worth? That thing was worth a few $1 million, $2 million. And now it's $40 million today. That is insane. It looks like the greatest investment ever. In reality, there's a very, very limited amount of these ultra prime properties that everybody wants. And when they occasionally go on the market, they skyrocket in price, okay? But you're not going to be able to get one of these reasonably. And if you have enough money to buy one of them, there are better returns than locking up your money for all these years. Sure, you can go to a dumb bank, get a mortgage, and arbitrage away the difference between the real inflation and the actual rate charged to you by the bank. That's great. The average person cannot do that. Any of you that can do that, go see our special courses. We've got other stuff for you. I'm sure we can help you find something much, much better than whatever you're currently doing. But this is for the average guy. And the average guy, I'm sorry, is not buying $40 million beach houses. All right? I wish you were. I wish every American had their own $40 million beach house. That would be incredible. I would love to see it. It feels like that used to be the America back 50, 100 years ago where we had real money. But we don't have real money. We've got toilet paper we pretend is, grade A quality stuff. Yes. Hear that, government? I endorsed your money. Please stop taxing me so hard. All right? But okay, you tell me I can't own a beach house for a good investment. What can I do? Can I own a normal house? Can I own a reasonably priced house? Well, what's a reasonably priced house? The average house price these days is teetering on the edge of $400,000 or $500,000, okay? With interest rates up there 6-7%, that mortgage payment that you have to make on something like that, even on a 30-year mortgage, is about as high as the average man's income before he gets raped by the tax man, okay? That is too high. You cannot afford a house. Not a good house. Not the average house. No. The average person has to afford a super cheap low-end house. Even a $200,000 house, which used to be like an $80,000 house not that many years ago, is really, really hard for people these days. These interest rates are sky high. The price of the houses are inflated. And look, the quality is just not there anymore. Quality craftsmanship is dying. Nobody does a good job. Why? They don't need to. Some idiot's going to buy it, turn around, flip it as a rental property, or just sell it on to the next guy who's eventually going to flip it as a rental property. Why would you ever put quality in something if you're just passing it to the next idiot in line? It's the same thing with the tulips that we used to have a problem with. It's the same thing with these garbage houses we keep throwing up, or the trailer parks. Oh, don't even get me started on those. Nothing is made for quality because you can't afford quality. Heck, you can't afford the garbage quality that they turn out. And it's terrible. It saddens me. It hurts. But okay, I can't even afford a good house. Well, maybe I'll invest in my family. You know, the one I have to cram in this shoebox I'm overpaying for. Well, okay, let me tell you something. I wish I could say it, it was like the old days where we have great marriages and all that. Marriage rates are on the decline. They're the lowest they've ever been. Divorce rates are higher than they've ever been. We aren't able to have families. We can't afford to live as a family anymore. That's insane, but it's true. Now, you're like, okay, well, maybe divorce rates are on the rise and marriage rates are declining. But that's not because of the economic situation. That's the dating apps or something, right? It's so easy to hook up. You got your Tinders and your other things, and, it's just because the culture's changing, right? No. That is not what's going on here. Yes, there is a lot of degeneracy, and not the good kind, going on with men and women's relationships and all the other things they want to call themselves, whatever that nonsense is. Some of us don't seem to have a problem with that, but look, I want the average guy to be doing good, and this is terrible. And it's not just guys, women too. Oh, man, some of them are getting way too much, but the average, they can't find love to save their lives. They're in the pursuit of money to, keep existing for all of their existence, and that's no way to live. What is life without people who are special to us to spend it with? But no, we don't have any of that. We can't afford it. And now people are spinning their wheels, trying to make some money, trying to maybe one day get a house, trying to find love somehow, broke as they can be, and they're just spending all their time spinning their wheels. They're unproductive. People aren't building things, okay? It's the hardest it's ever been to start a new successful business. Innovation is dying. We are exporting it overseas to people who can actually afford to innovate, because right now, we can't afford to live. We certainly can't afford to provide for others, and nobody is being super productive. We need to turn this around before everything falls apart. I want the America we used to have, the America that I feel like you deserve. We've had our wealth, our opportunity, our love stolen from us. It's time we take it back. We need a better way. We need a revolution. We need real innovation, not just in our money, in our lives. We need something better. No, you disgusting degenerates, and I mean that lovingly.